Sir, you are live now.
Sir, we are live now. Please start. Sir, no audio. Please switch on the mic. No, sir, your mic is showing off.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Audible,
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So, should I introduce the course or what is the format? Hello, welcome everyone to the live session, interactive session for remote sensing and GIS for rural development. This is Professor Pennan from IIT Bombay. I have my TAs, Mr. Pranad and Mr. Somdeep. We will be happy to take questions of any regarding the course, how to apply the course in real life scenarios, and also take questions on future directions for this course. Please put your questions in the chat box or YouTube, and then we will take the questions. Should we take the questions from the Excel sheet or yes? Hello?
Yes, sir, you can start.
Okay. So from the Excel sheet, there are some questions. Mr. Deepak has asked how I'm doing the Excel sheet because YouTube I'm not seeing any questions yet. I'm not seeing questions. Okay. So I'll start with the Excel sheet questions. In the Excel sheet, we have from the participants certain questions. Mr. Deepak has asked, how can we use remote sensing and GIS in rural planning and mapping? Again, this is a rural development course using GIS, but still, most of the concepts that we use in the rural network is the same for urban planning. For example, land use land cover, identifying attributes using remote sensing data, updating the attributes using GIS and remote sensing, all are similar between rural and urban. Whereas there are some aspects of urban planning like sewage, drainage, electricity connections, and then bus stops. These kind of things may be very oriented to urban planning, which is not covered in this course. But there are a lot of material that is available for urban planning. This course is rural planning and rural development. And then Ms. Antrika has asked a question. Okay, please state your question. Okay, there's no Yeah, similar question. GIS potential in using rural development is very high. There is a lot of possibilities for using this in peri-urban also. So, what is peri-urban is rural, uh, rural converting to urban, or rural we call, where it is on the fringe of urban and rural. Yes, all these areas, most of the concepts that we cover in class can be used. Lakshya is asking, sir, I have a question related to GIS and would appreciate your clarification. I was in a separate interactive session with, so she wants a separate interactive session with student can ask, but again, my email is there, forum is there. Please put the question in the email, my email. If it is relevant, I'll get back with the answers. Okay. Another question is from Subrata Paul, where she asked, when I'm scrolling one dataset, I found almost every dataset are 1 is to 50,000 and above. These datasets are not quality data. If I am planning rural sector, what is used for 50K scale data? So there are a lot of remote sensing tools and data sets that we will be discussing in the course. For example, data sets from NASA, Sentinel, Copernicus. These are a high resolution where the scale is much lower, therefore higher resolution is achieved. So you will be getting less than 50K scale in other data sets. The ones attached to Bhuvan dataset, current Bhuvan dataset, are a little bit at the higher end, which is used for large planning scales. But for rural planning, yes, you can use multiple other data sets that are covered in the class. In the due course of time, it will be covered. Okay, Sharon has put no question, and then we have Sridevi, Dr. Sridevi Moharna. She's a faculty. How to improve crop water requirement for different crops in rural through irrigation facilities. The crop water requirement depends on the ET that it consumes, the evapotranspiration. Every plant has a ET that is marked by FAO standards, and if we understand that ET value, we can actually estimate how much water is needed. And if the water is rain fed, rain will give the water. If it is not, then you use irrigation from surface water like lakes, ponds, dams, or you use it from groundwater. Correct? So where does remote sensing and GIS come here? Remote sensing and GIS will be helpful in understanding the acreage, how large the acreage is. It will understand the evapotranspiration values. It will also understand the crop type that is there, because you know the growing calendar. That is not it. You can increase the irrigation facility and increase the efficiency by understanding how much water is required. For example, if a plant is fully grown, you don't need water much. It will soon give the fruits or the seeds, rice, paddy, wheat, whatever, and then it will turn brown, right? So here is where your remote sensing satellite data, which comes every 16 days, can apprehend or can augment the water supply scenario by providing data on, is the plant healthy. If the plant is healthy, you give maximum water. If not healthy, then we give other resources like nutrients, fertilizers, pesticides. And if uh, the plant is still not growing, then you should not be wasting water. Okay, so that is the idea of using GIS and remote sensing to improve crop water requirements. I think that is it. There is no more questions in the Excel sheet. I'll go back to the live YouTube. Okay, the first one is AutoCAD class. Hello. Sir, what is GIS tagging? So GIS tagging is geospatial. So what is GIS? First, right? We say geographic information systems, geospatial information systems also, where a image or a data is there and there is no GIS tag, which is there is no geographic information attached to it. Every data, every image has data in it. Okay, for example, black and white, you have pixel values. Or if you have an attribute, if you have a map and in that map you have a house, you know the lat long, you know it is a house, you know it is a flat, you know is it a hut or something. What do you mean by GIS tagging is then you give a geographic location to the house. Where is the house exactly placed? What is the lat long? Okay, where is the coordinate system? This is being captured in GIS tagging. Initially, in those days, cameras were not capturing these geographic information system information or data, but now even your cell phone is capturing this. So, for example, if you open your cell phone and take a picture and see it, it will not have exact coordinates. But if you turn on your coordinate system, like when you use a map or you use a taxi booking app or a food booking app, it will know your location, correct? So if you start the location services and then take a map, then the GIS information will be captured and then tagged to the image. So this is where GIS tagging is there. It is very important because anyone can give any data, but it can be data from the US or let's say China, some other country. How do you know it is from India? Correct. Without the coordinate system, without the lat long, it is very difficult to understand the location of the data. So that is where you have this GIS tagging very important. How to download, another person Antrika is sir, how to download shapefile in other websites. I don't It's normal, right? Like, so for example, Diva GIS we have shown in class, and other GIS websites we have shown in class, and even Survey of India we have shown shape files. So when you click download a shapefile, remember that a shapefile is not one file, 7 or 6 associated files will be there. So you need to download all the files together and then plot it in a map. If you just download .shp, you will not get the .prg, which is the projection, and other associated shapefile data information. All this will be covered in the sessions later. This is a basic GIS query. I recommend taking some information from online and Peter Lan, what is a shapefile and how many associated files and how to download. Uh, of the GIS remote sensing, this is a very specific course on rural development. But again, I think I have answered that question. Like, for example, if you go to Survey of India for the boundary of villages, it is a shapefile. When you click it, a zip folder will come. In that zip folder, you unzip it, you'll have 7 or 6 files. Together becomes one shapefile. Okay. When you open QGIS and click add shapefile layer and go to the folder where you saved the Survey of India's shapefile, only the .shp will be visible, and then you bring it to the QGIS, it will be populated. Your GIS shapefile will be populated. Okay. Um, yeah. So if more questions, please add in the comment box. AutoCAD class is asking, is GIS tagging possible through QGIS or ArcGIS? Yes, it is possible. Basically, if you know the lat longs, then you bring the image or you bring the data into GIS and then you give the coordinate system in it. For example, you're taking a picture of a house and you know that the house is or an attribute. Okay, you know that the attribute is there and you need that attributes, you record the attributes lat long using your mobile or other GPS service. So there is a lot of apps that can give you the latitude longitude of a location. First you go to the location, turn on your location services in your phone, then turn on the app, and the app will actually capture the lat long of that location. The lat long is given by satellites that are triangulating to that app, or the cell networks that are there, the cell phone towers, they will give you the lat longs for that location. So this is how when you change cities, suddenly you'll get a SMS saying, "Oh, welcome to Gujarat, welcome to Kerala." So that welcome message comes because the tower knows that you are moving from Bombay to Kerala, and then the signal is being caught. So here, similar ways, you can bring it into QGIS, and then if the data does not have it, you can geo tag. Okay, or geo reference is the tool that you can reference the image and then take the data for it, or attach the GIS data, geospatial data for it, and make it a georeferenced image. Okay, and then server GIS has asked a question. If I calculate drainage line or basin using DEM, SRTM, ALS, Pulsar, etc., the drainage line doesn't match the field. Higher order match the river, but low order does not match to the field. I think he is a surveyor in GIS. This is a very important problem in real life scenario, especially rural development scenario. What the question is, I have a DEM, and in the DEM, I'm burning to make drainage lines. Okay, the low lying lines, low elevation lines become drainage or river lines. And you take that drainage map and then go to the field, you are not able to see the exact line in the field, or it is moved. Why is it? There are multiple reasons for it. What makes the drainage lines? Okay, elevation, soil, etc. Right. So if soil is eroded, then soil erosion goes into the drainage lines, therefore increasing the elevation. The another line becomes the drainage line. So this is a outdated DEM. DEMs are not taken every year. DEMs are not taken every 6 months, because as the surveyor, or I don't know his name, correctly says, DEMs, the elevation doesn't change at a larger scale. Okay, if you zoom out, elevation doesn't change much. But if you go to a particular location, elevation changes. Let's take an example. You have a stream flowing in a village. After 4 5 years, the stream would move. How does a stream move? Because it is elevation. How does elevation move? Elevation moves because the initial stream has sedimentation, elevation rises, therefore water finds a different route and cuts through it, and then creates drainage. So there are multiple reasons. As I said, water cuts through and then creates the elevation differences, which means removing sand, silt, and clay. Therefore, you are getting more what do you call, references for this, and you will be able to see these differences more profoundly in locations where there is active land management, agriculture, encroachments, or they're blocking the waterways. If they block the waterways, what happens is water finds new routes to flow, and those new routes become your elevation gradients. I hope I made it clear. Okay, basically, the drainage line is most important in NRM and watershed planning. Yes, it is very important. Natural resource management, IWMP, integrated water management plans, Manrega, everything. This drainage line is very important. But please understand that the drainage lines do not change that fast. Still, the DEM is very old. One of the points in class I tell is always look at the metadata. Go to the DEM and see when it was collected. It is 1970, 1990. Okay. So if 1990 it is there and 30 years we are down, then we are actually saying that nothing moved. Okay, there is no movement of soil, there is no movement of land, and therefore the drainage, the elevations are same. It is not correct. If you look at locations where groundwater pumping is there very active, if the elevation is here, okay, and there is crops growing, you're pumping too much water, then the land will come down, because that is called land subsidence. Okay, your porosity, everything is taken away, water is taken away, so the land is actually going down by a couple of meters. So if this land changes elevation, then the entire drainage network will change. This will happen over 4 to 5 years, 10 years, if more pumping is happening. Okay, so the cone of depression, if the soil is actually pumped so that it reduces the elevation, then the drainage lines will change. Okay. Good morning, sir. Can we just see Sharma? Good morning, sir. Can we use NISA data in rural development field? Yes. Every single satellite data has potential for rural development field. Okay. It's not one data set. I use multiple data set. NISA has its own potential. You need to understand why and where I'll be using NISA data. For example, NISA data has more accuracy for global maps, and it is a collaboration with NASA and ISRO. It's a very new microwave imaging data set. We don't know the efficiencies, etc. But again, every satellite data has shown proof that it is you can use it to a particular level, either land use land cover, your soil mapping, moisture mapping, or groundwater like GRACE data we use. We can use groundwater, etc. Please read through the NISAR's metadata. They've given it very clearly where it is used, how it can be used, and then you can have more information on what type of ideas, what type of problems can be used it for. Okay. Yes. You can also measure forest disturbances, natural hazards, climate change. Climate change is very important for rural development. So you can always use it for rural development NISAR data. And again, it's not only about the data. What do you do with the data is very important. Okay, please understand that just mapping is not enough. What analytics you go around it is very important. And what we have found out in data sets is just one data set is not enough, or one band of the data is not enough. So we use indicators. For example, NDVI, NDWI. You have to use multiple bands into a particular protocol or program to run algorithms to estimate particular values, and these values are important for rural development. Okay, Anisha has asked, Anisha Rahman, good morning sir, I want to know how to pre-process NISAR data. Kindly take a class on that. Again, this is a very specific course on using GIS remote sensing for rural development. Anisha, you may know how to use certain data sets, but this course focuses on using multiple data sets for rural development, understanding the rural problem, etc. For pre-processing of NISAR data, I recommend following the protocols that are given by NISAR committee, which is ISRO and NASA. If we do the pre-processing, that is very, very higher level. You need to go and understand, or computing power you need to have for you to do your own pre-processing. But mostly the data is pre-processed, and you get versions of the data. So if you go to the download link, you can get the raw data and pre-processed data at particular levels. Then you can take the level you want and then use it. I would recommend you to read some recent news journal articles that have used NISAR and what type of pre-processing they have done before you use it for your studies. Okay, I think that is it. Let me go back to the Excel sheet. Okay, another student has asked, Mr. Samad, sir, I'm doing a project on construction and demolition waste based on Kerala, in Kerala. Uh, Construction and demolition waste. Okay. How can I use GIS remote sensing in a better way for identification of storage or processing facility? So again, as your problem statement is more urban, but I'll try to answer. Let's say you have a area where it is decommissioned, government quarters, and you're trying to demolish it. So demolition is done, and you want to take all this and put it in a central facility, storage facility, etc. There are multiple parameters here that are more important. For example, how much are you willing to transport? Transportation cost is there, availability of land is there, and ownership of the land is there. Okay, let's say the government, like airport here, they are demolishing part of the airport in Mumbai because they are building new airports, right? So what do they do? The old airport, they will demolish it and slowly move it to locations where the land is available for the other processing and stuff. So you need to identify by using a GIS remote sensing map, where is that land that is available, which is not used for agriculture, not used for anything, and it is ownership. Who's the ownership? So cadastral maps can be put. Has the land been a non-agriculture land for the law at least 10 years, 15 years, etc.? And what is the purpose of the land? The land could be just a cricket ground. So if you look at metro constructions in Chennai, most of the grounds are used because that is where they could make the metros track things and the cement fabrications. And then once that work is done, the ground is given back to the public. Okay, Think about this saves a lot of money for transportation. Otherwise, you are going to make it in a central facility, bring all the things, the transportation cost, then every road has to be blocked to bring all these transported big tracks and stuff is going to be very hard. So centrally located locations are important. But if you're taking the waste out to a processing facility and storage facility, please see where in Kerala you can do. And land is very important. You cannot just put it on an agricultural land. You cannot put it on a field where it is like used for recreational purposes, like you're playing, exercising, etc. So there should be some demarcated land. Take that layer, take the LULC from satellite data, land use land cover change, and see where it is more possible, feasible to do it. And it has to be within a particular radius. So that buffer I talk about in GIS remote sensing, let's say a community you're housing old, or an airport you're demolishing, that airport around that, let's put a 20-kilometer radius, because moving more than 20-30 kilometers is very expensive, correct? So let's say 20-kilometer radius, where can you put and quickly process the waste and then send it for recycling or something. Okay, there's no more questions. I go to YouTube. Okay, YouTube. Donga Harini has said just good morning. Good morning, Donga. Any question, let us know. I think there is it. Again, this course we have Pennan and Somdeep. They worked extensively using satellite data. This course is mostly for applying remote sensing concepts, GIS, for rural development. But I'm seeing very much interest in the urban sector, which is okay. The concepts doesn't change much. I focus the course on rural development because the need is more higher. But yeah, please ask me any questions that you would prefer. You see the thing. Okay. There's no more questions. See the question on the DISAR. I'm just looking at the metadata. It's like 12 days. They take the data, and resolution is around 7 meters, right? And mostly it is used for forestation activities, disturbances to the land, deforestation, etc., etc. So let us know, and then we can do that. Rana, do you want to add something? Somdeep, Rana.
So, sir, uh, for the audience, there will be one workshop on NISAR processing that will be on.
Somdeep, we are not doing the workshop now. Be very clear what you mean. Who's doing it?
It's by Sir BIT Mishra.
So a lot of workshops are happening. Please, again, be very active on. I would recommend to go to the either NASA's website where NISA data tools are there, and ISRO's website where the people who are actually working on these data sets, they can help you out. Okay. Any other questions? Let us know. And, NPTEL team Zoom doesn't have any chat. I'm not seeing any questions in Zoom.
No, sir.
Okay, nice. Excel sheet also question has stopped. The next session starts at 11 o'clock, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there's no more questions on the sheets. Okay, since there's no more questions, we'll stop now. And if any other questions, please put it in the Google Forum document, and or let us know by email. As I said, you can always connect with me through emails, and my TA's emails are also there. Thank you. We'll stop now.